Slava Slovana.
One, let's go.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ikenna Ogele, and this is our podcast discussing the Purdue housing crisis issues of 2021. My host, Kevin Kinder, is with me.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, and today we have a special guest. His name is Tyler, and he actually experienced the housing crisis last year, so...
Hello. To tell you a little bit about myself, my name's Tyler. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, born and raised. I'm currently a sophomore here at Purdue, and I am probably going to go into the Mitch Daniels School of Business next year.
My major is graphic design, and I'm double minoring in art history and communication, looking into working in advertising. I'm very into sports, so that's kind of the field that I want to go into. That's a little bit about me.
So my plan was to room with my current roommate, Matt. We were trying to get a duo together, but we were late on it. So I got an email saying, okay, well, here's your housing assignment. I'm like, oh, cool. Let's see who I'm rooming with. And then I open up my Purdue housing portal, and I see I have 7 roommates.
Oh.
Yeah. So there were 8 of us in total, and it's let's say, I don't know, how big is this room? I think it's about 4 times the size of this room.
Yeah, I'd say this is 10 by 10, something like that.
10 by 4 or 5 times, maybe a little bit bigger than that. And they crammed 8 beds, desks, and that's it in that room.
They crammed the desks, too?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
So originally when I walked in, I was one of the first ones there, they had everything bunked. So it was straight up, if you've ever been to a sleepaway camp before, it was literally like you were walking into a cabin.
Or one of those little church camps.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I actually went to one of those as a kid, so it was like...
Oh, a little PTSD.
Honestly, God.
Later, when we got our housing assignment, it said that we were given a small double in Shreve. And we were like, oh, perfect. His email worked. So good. And then when we arrived to campus, the room that we had... was like a converted janitor's closet type of thing.
You gotta be kidding me.
So we realized later when we had to file a fix-it at some point that the actual name for the room was miscellaneous drip and dry.
So a mop closet.
Yeah.
You got a mop closet.
Inside the room, it was smaller than most of the other rooms in our hall in Shreve. We were on the 4th floor. And we had
stairs and a closet.
Wasn't that bad. The stairs.
You guys there for the whole year,
Oh, yeah.
one semester?
Oh, yeah, the whole year.
All 8
the
of you?
whole year, all 8 of us.
So they didn't move you at all?
No. And
No.
we tried. There were multiple of us that requested or tried to request room changes. I even asked our RA, what are the odds of me getting a room change? Because I didn't want to live with 7 people at the beginning of the year. No one did. I was like, what's the odds of us getting a room change? And he was like,
0.
yeah, you're kind of hosed. You're going to be here for the whole year. And we're just like, oh, awesome. So that was not great news to find out.
We had a big vent. One of the biggest problems was that we had a really big vent that was up close to the ceiling. And part of the quirks of our room was that we weren't allowed to have both of our beds on the floor because there wasn't enough room and it was a fire hazard. So one of us had to loft our beds. So mine was the lofted bed. And the vent, the way it was set up, the only way it could be set up was the vent was blowing air at me while I was sleeping. And I got sick probably about 80% of freshman year, and you could say that was, everyone gets sick when they're a freshman, but I did feel like the vent that was blowing at me when I was sleeping was making it worse.
It's definitely a health hazard.
Yeah, so we eventually filed this big fix-it about it, and we wrote a big long paragraph and stuff, and it was probably in November, December, and they built us a diverter. It was this big giant metal tunnel looking thing that diverted the air up towards the ceiling. And then after that, I still got sick the normal amount of a freshman in college, but I felt like it was better. But yeah, it was definitely, the vent was a health hazard.
Our shower was, I'm going to do like a visual picture because it's easier. Like we're in a hallway here.
Yeah.
The lobby's like here. And the showers, you have to go through the lobby, take a left,
Oh,
and
God.
like into the first wing of McCutcheon Hall. So we had to walk through the lobby to just take a shower every single day.
So you couldn't like walk around in your towel to get back to your room and change.
Some of us did, and that's just because it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because that's just like I don't know. I don't want to put a shirt on to go shower. I don't care. I'm pretty body positive. I think I look good, but however, we got in trouble for that. The head RA came down and started and talked to us, and he's like, "You guys need to put on a shirt to go shower because some of the female employees are feeling uncomfortable that you are shirtless walking towards the shower."
I feel uncomfortable living with 8 people.
Yeah, exactly. I feel uncomfortable living with 8 people. I feel uncomfortable that they're looking at me when I'm not wearing a shirt.
This is supposed to be the privacy of my home.
Exactly. We could have said all those things, but we were just like, we just kind of dumbstruck because it
Nod
was like,
our head and
yeah, exactly. Nod your head and go along with it because you're like,
What could you have done in that situation?
I don't know. Like, cause
carry a backpack full of extra clothes with you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
So I went to Hawkins, which was then cheaper than Cary.
Moved around.
Hawkins
Oh,
is
yeah.
cheaper than Cary. That doesn't add up.
Oh, I mean, it was a prison cell. Like Swedish prisons are nicer than what you get in Hawkins. Like,
Yeah, aren't Swedish prisons like nice in general?
well, we had like
That's what I heard.
40 people on our floor. Well, it was half girls, half boys, and like there was probably like 25 of each, and we had one working shower for 2 months.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And you know the famous Purdue brown water. So then that comes and there's, find out the hard way when you stick your toe in and you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting a spray tan when I shower today.
Another thing I'm looking at here is, I think they're also neglecting the fact that, students should be motivated to want to live on campus. I'm looking at a study from Pennsylvania State University that says that you're twice as likely to get a GPA under 1.0 if you live off campus. And so,
agree.
They definitely have enough capital to like do maintenance on a few other buildings. Like kids should not have to be living in cockroach infested stairwells, having to shower with brown water. God.
Drink brown water.
Yeah, like have their ceilings fall apart. Like my place is literally this week. Like my shower ceiling was just like chunks of it just fell into the drain. Aaron, so what's your living situation like right now? Are you still with Purdue or?
Yes, so I am still in Purdue housing. I live in Hawkins now. That process was also not that great.
Tell us more about it.
In November freshman year was when the housing site went live. I don't remember the exact day, but like sophomores had their own day, I believe. And me and my roommate, who I was trying to get to be my roommate, were on that site for like 5 hours. We thought we were going to be homeless. Like the site wouldn't load. It kept crashing because everyone was trying to get their places. We had an idea of where we wanted to live, like in Frida or something. And by the time that we were able to get the site working, all the places that we had in our like top 5 were gone. So we were lucky. I mean, I felt lucky that we got to live in Hawkins because I know people that like were forced to live in like Owen as sophomores, and that is just.
That's just unfair. Like how they know that like tens of thousands of kids are going to be signing up on this website. They need to like make sure that this website won't crash.
And that like threshold to where you can't get housing, it's not like weeks, it's not months, it's minutes. Like last year. Look, our last 2 interviews ago, we were talking about how, she was trying to get on the website would crash. Same thing happened to me too. We were trying to live in like somewhere nicer. I'm still in McCutcheon now, actually on the same floor as last year, and the only reason for that was the website crash, and it took us a couple minutes to get back on. So,
unfortunately, that's the same thing with parking too. I don't know how many of you guys have parking passes, but you get a parking pass, you guys gotta wait in the queue, and it's like trying to drop try to buy a newly dropped pair of shoes. It's ridiculous. And I just feel like that says something again, we're letting too many people in. I just feel like it's doing is lessening every one of our degrees. At the end of the day, you just don't want to oversaturate the market with Purdue grads. You want to have Purdue grads should mean something, and it shouldn't just mean letting everybody in.
And I think
I was one of the fortunate ones who was able to find housing during that September October period, because Purdue actually bought like my area. There's like a little spot like on Walton Street that's like next to Third Street Market. They completely bought that area without even telling us. I had to learn from my roommate that they're like rezoning our area.
Oh,
so,
the old Weeda apartments.
yeah, the old Wade apartments. Like we're getting kicked out.
Yeah.
So I had to do that scramble, but it just. I'm just glad like I got warning of it, because like I was prepared to stay there for like the entire 4 years. Imagine some kids who just didn't get that warning and like have to go through like say March or April. They have to go and find housing.
Yeah, that's tough. That's the situation that I got put in, and there wasn't much. Even across the river into Lafayette, there wasn't much. At that point, you're either a 20-minute drive for campus, or you're paying $1,300 a month for an apartment. There's just no in between. And yeah, when places do it like that, like you said, that at least you got a warning. But the people that are having to do it now, they're kind of screwed. Or transfer students coming in, or the people that were on the wait list to like get accepted and just got accepted, they're gonna be screwed. They're gonna be the type of people living in the mop closets.
Oh, I didn't even think about the people who got waitlisted to come here. Oh my god.
That's gotta be wild.
The financial effects that the housing issues have had on students. So this article is by Channel 13 WTHR, and they interviewed a couple of students that were in auxiliary housing. Well, they weren't in like the ones that we've talked about in the interviews where they're in dorms. They got reassigned to apartments. So the dorm cost for them would have been about $3,800, I believe. But here they said they got moved to Aspire, which then cost them $5,500, which is a $1,700 increase per semester. So what do you guys think about that?
I honestly just think it's foul that they get a nicer place, but like that wasn't their obviously wasn't in their top options. So
I agree. Like they kind of got screwed. They didn't really choose that. I think that's another big issue here. A lot of the times you're not like when you apply, they give you your preferences, quote unquote preferences, but they just kind of pick for you. They kind of throw your preferences out the window, and you just kind of get stuck with whatever you get stuck with. And nobody really seems to care.
yeah, I remember my preferences when I was a freshman before this whole crisis even started. I specifically put Earhart and Shreve like on the top of my list, and I put Tarkington at the bottom. I somehow ended up with Tarkington without the roommate I even like picked, because in when you're doing your housing application, if two people like choose each other as their roommates, like it's supposed like they're set, they're gonna be roommates. He got moved to Earhart, and I got moved to Tarkington without a roommate. Aren't upper classes supposed to have priority for dorms?
That's what I thought.
This kind of goes into a different thing. So this is my first year here at Purdue, although I'm a junior. I came from a smaller school, Butler University in Indianapolis, and the housing situations are way different. Obviously, Purdue is a much bigger school. A lot more people from international and just different backgrounds around the world just want to come here for a little bit better education. But Butler was so focused on making sure that their students had the best housing, the best time in college. So they give you what dang near looks like 5-star hotels, and then I would come visit my friends that were also freshmen at Purdue, and I'd go into like Tarkington or even McCutcheon. I mean, McCutcheon's not bad, but when you compare Purdue housing to other universities, it's just different.
If you had one thing that you would recommend for them to do, what would you scream at Mun Chang's face?
I would probably just say, like, expect that Purdue is a growing school that more and more people are interested in attending, and so they need to limit the people that they accept, because I think every year they accept, every college accepts over the amount that they think will be in, because not everyone is going to accept their offer, but I think they anticipate too many people declining their offer, and then more people accept, and then you can't rescind your application once you've done that, so they need to kind of keep in mind that people actually would like to attend Purdue.
Do you have any other things that you think they could improve to maybe not dwindle the situation, just to help the students that are put in that situation or anything like that?
I think build more off-campus housing that's super affordable and close by. I've seen it, like they did it for COVID. They have like these kind of newer apartments.
Kind of by Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in Village
Walmart.
West last year.
Yeah.
It was like $550, and it was a nice
they are
apartment.
nice. So
it was a little bit off campus. But
it's a trip, and I'd much rather live where I have to like take the bus or
I got a
bike.
parking pass there.
Yeah, if you have a car, get a parking pass. I'd much rather have that than live with like 7 other guys or 5 other guys or
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and helping us out with this.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, this is Ikenna Ogele and Kevin Kinder signing off.